Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your July 13th, 2022 Supermoon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, just a warning for you not to be scammed by anyone pretending to be me or any other reader, asking you if you want a reading, asking you for a donation. Please be very cautious. Now let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's talk about this moon for just a moment before we look at the energy that we have to be mindful of. This moon is an intense moon. It's going to be a heavy moon for everyone. What happens is, so let's talk about this moon and go to the very beginning. It's a supermoon, so it means everything is amplified. It is in Capricorn, and it is on the 13th of July. And what happens here is that we really want to be useful. We want to be useful and we want to be validated. So we're going to be kind of bending over backwards or breaking our backs to be able to be what other people see as successful, to be able to have our validation come from others. And the whole point of this moon is not to seek out the approval of others, but to have the approval of ourselves, to know what we want and to be focused on who we are and to see ourselves achieving and succeeding through our own passion and desires and what we want in life, which sounds, at times too good to be true. But there's a real need here, a real desire for finding ourselves and not for being so caught up in what everybody else says, what everybody else thinks, that we lose ourselves to the louder voices, to the approval of others, to what is expected instead of what actually is. So let's look at what we have to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. We have the Four of Wands. Okay. Now this is such a positive card that it's interesting that it comes out to be mindful of it, but we have given a commitment to somebody who's going to take advantage of it, or somebody else has committed to something and they're going to expect us to do it. So just be very aware of this with the Four of Wands, that it's a commitment that is being taken advantage of. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have our sacral chakra and we have our heart chakra. So the sacral chakra is relationships. We have to look at what we love and what we want and the relationships that we want to build within our lives. Our relationships are going to be important to us, but I also see it as not every relationship is going to be important to us. There are going to be certain things that we look at and we say, that's not me and I don't want it. And I'm not going to try and have that relationship, build that relationship. And remember, it doesn't have to be romantic relationships. It can be, any sort of relationship in our lives. We're saying what counts. We're also looking at the relationship that we're building with ourselves and saying what counts, what matters. We then have the heart chakra, and we're embracing play. And the thing about human beings is that we cannot play if we do not feel safe. So as we're embracing play, as we're looking at what we love, we're also looking at, do I feel safe within my life? Do I feel secure within myself? How is it that I need to move forward for me? And why is it here during this moon that we are so ready to attack ourselves, so willing to find ourselves wanted? Now remember, you're represented by the moon in the major arcana, Pisces. So be aware that the moon affects you quite deeply and quite powerfully. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. angels, and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Okay. I like this one. Okay. All right. So I love that we start with the full moon in Virgo and the North Node. So what's interesting is your sister sign is Virgo. So again, it brings out the best or the worst in you, depending on, the relationship between the sisters at this very moment. It says you are good enough. And that's going to be a very powerful thing to understand. You are good enough. Who you are is enough. It's not saying, it's not being flippant, oh, you're good enough, like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. It's saying you are enough. Realize it, understand it, and own it. Then we have the North Node. Now, the North Lunar Node is not, did I say not? Yes. The North Node, the North Lunar Node, is the head of the dragon. So it is our present. It is what guides us. It is what we're seeing now. And it says step out of your comfort zone. Step out of what you're used to and step into who you are. This moon has sovereignty over it. This moon has power to it. We're going to be looking at that power. We're going to be seeing that power. We're going to be seeing it within ourselves. We're going to be seeing it for ourselves. And it brings us to this place of pleasure. It brings us to this realization that we need to embrace what we love and what we want, that there needs to be joy within life. And this moon lets us see it. It lets us see it by the amount of pressure we're putting on ourselves. It lets us see it by the way that we're moving forward for what we desire. And it brings us to abundance. So as we start to let in pleasure, we start to look at what makes us abundant, what guides us forward, what do we want to be nurturing, building within our lives. Boundaries is going to be astoundingly important. We need to have clear boundaries during this time. We're not going to want to. For some reason, we're really fighting against this. We're going to want to say, oh, everybody can come over, everybody can do this, everybody can do that. No, they can't. You need to have boundaries, Pisces. Those boundaries are going to be important. This is what I need for me. This is what I desire right now. This is how I have to move me forward. We're going to find that because of everything that we've been through, because of everything that we've experienced, we're a heck of a lot wiser than we think we are. But we need to embrace that wisdom. We need to move forward with that wisdom, because wisdom is earned. It isn't a guarantee. Have you seen people live their whole entire lives and never become wise? This isn't going to be you. There is wisdom and there is power and there's insight here. We need to make sure we have our boundaries. We need to make sure that we are connecting with this moon. This moon is giving us tremendous gifts, and it'll be so easy to ignore them. It will be so easy to write them off. But we need to look at the pleasure that we have in our lives, the joy that is leading us forward, and to know that we are abundant. Let's look at what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. So I love that we have the Ace of Cups, because we are represented by the cups in the major arcana, in the minor arcana. And the cups, for us, it is a gift just for us. So here we have the Eight of Cups. We're walking away from what we once thought we would love. We're finding it doesn't fit anymore. It can be a job, it can be a relationship, it can be a mindset, it can be what we thought we would always be doing and now we're not. Or it's like, no, I'm done. The Eight of Cups is saying, I'm walking away. And we're also walking on our own 2 feet, which is very important. You might say, oh, who else's feet would I be walking with, Dane? But it's a sense of Spirit is saying, no, you're doing this for yourself. You're doing this for yourself. And it's almost like by yourself. You might be doing it with others, but you're walking forward to what you want, to what you need, to who you are. And you're really embracing you. And that's going to be powerful. It's going to be important. It's going to be, something you hadn't expected. But there's something here where it's like, no, it's time. This moon is going to be showing you it's time. Now, whether you walk away or, whether you walk towards these goals now or it takes you a while, that's astoundingly personal. We then have the Ace of Cups. This is God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you a gift of healing, beautiful love, handing you a gift of your heart and your passion and your soul and what it is that you really want. it also makes us vulnerable. So when we embrace our hearts and when we embrace the gifts of ourselves, we become vulnerable, and we don't want that. We want to kind of put on a facade that I'm a lot tougher than I think I am, or than people think I am. And what happens here with the Ace of Cups is that we need to move towards love and harmony and peace and a real connection with us. We then have the Queen of Wands, which is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now, if we're born on the cusp with Aries, or we have fire sign energy within our chart, this comes through very, very powerfully. But we're also finding the passion again, the spark, the fire that led us forward to begin with. There's something here where it's not what you expected. It's not what you expected, the way you're going to be headed. And there's also a sense of creativity, of insight, of passion, of honing our skills, of seeing what we desire. There's something that's taking us by surprise, and we're going to be like, wow, I didn't expect this, but yeah, I'm really happy it happened. There's also an illumination that's coming forward. There's something that has been in the dark, and there's some sort of like, why not use that talent? Like, why not go after this? Why not see this more? That's coming forward. The black cat by her lap, right in front of her. There's a guardian watching over us, but there's also luck on our side. That others might see things as bad luck. We're going to see like a black cat can be bad luck, but I always see it as good luck. Look at things differently. Be open, be honest, be truthful with yourself. You'll be surprised at what comes forward. But also let your fire, let your spark shine. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Ace of Wands. It, again, is such a positive card, and yet be mindful of it. This is somebody else's fire. This is somebody else's intentions overshadowing yours. This is passion and fire and determination, but this can also be the fact that you have so much passion and fire and determination that you don't know where to focus it. It's like it's a wildfire instead of a torch, right? Instead of, or a fine laser beam. Just be aware of this. Our subconscious chakra energy is forgiveness. It's the heart chakra. Stop being so hard on yourself, Pisces. This is something that every single water energy, or actually every single person has to learn. When we talk about forgiveness, we can talk about forgiving others, and that's fine. But let us also talk about forgiving ourselves. For the times where we didn't live up to our expectations, for the fact that life is harder than we ever imagined it to be. As we open up our heart chakra, we open up us, and we see what we need and desire and want, and we see how we move forward. The heart chakra guides us, and forgiveness is a huge part of us. Our subconscious Luna message is the new moon. It says a new start is coming. Purity. I love this card because I love the moments after it snows, where the world is quiet and the bird's song just echoes across, it feels like across the world, It echoes back at you and you're just silent and taking it all in. The purity of intention comes forward. The new moon is when we set our intentions, when we look at what we want to manifest, where we look at how we want to move things forward. We're moving towards the new moon with purity of purpose. There's a sense of, the muck and the mire. Like the dirty snow, like the snow that's too close to the road, and it all gets icky. Well, that ickiness has been washed away. And there's a real sense of the purity of our intention, of what we desire, not corrupted by anybody else, but stepped forward by us. Where does that new start come from? How are we embracing it? How are we moving forward? And where is it that we need to be? Our subconscious tarot message is the Eight of Wands. Once we start to see things, once we start to kind of believe and trust, and also once we see things moving forward and we take the stand, we move towards what we need, we're kind of lighting on fire what we need to release, all of a sudden things start moving very, very quickly. Now, remember, with the repeat of the number 8, 8 is a very serious number. We have Capricorn, who is ruled by Saturn, very serious energy coming forward. So we have to be mindful to not be so serious that we take away all our joy and all our passion, all of what we want. But knowing that things will move forward quickly once we open up our hearts to this movement, once we know that things, get to expand and get to, become more than what we expected them to be. But just be ready for a wild ride, Pisces. All right, Pisces. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. And of this, of course, supermoon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces. And may you have a blessed moon.